It's such a privilege to have with us this month Andy Stanley, author, communicator, pastor, and he has so many insights for us on a big word, grace. If you think you know what it's all about, stand by to be surprised. Andy, one of my favorite musicals, perhaps my favorite musical of all time, is Les Miserables.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Javert and Jean Valjean.
Yeah.
To me, it's such a portrait of the law and grace.
Yep.
And a lot of people look at the Bible, God's Word, as having a big dividing line down the middle.
Right.
There's the Old Testament, which is all about the law and judgment and the God of wrath, and the New Testament, which is grace and the friend of sinners, Jesus. And you say that the opposite of grace is not law.
No, the opposite of grace is the absence of grace. Law is actually an extension of God's grace. I talk a lot about that in the book. And when Christians have an eye-opening experience around this false contrast that many of them have lived with for years and years and years, it's so comforting. And the best way to understand it is this. When God gave the Ten Commandments, He gave it to a group of people He had already redeemed out of slavery. He redeemed them from Egypt. He protected them. He took care of them. He protected them from the angel of death that came through the land of Egypt. He took them across the Red Sea. Once they were redeemed, safe and sound, once they were clearly His people, then He gave them the law. The other way to understand it is I only set up rules for my own children. I don't have any rules for my neighbor's kids. The reason is they're not my kids. So law is not the opposite of grace. Law is the extension of grace. Every single parent watching your program understands the reason they give their children rules, the reason they give their children laws is because they're their children and they love their children. So when God says, here's what I want you to do, here's what I don't want you to do, it's because He loves us. It is an extension of His grace. So the opposite of grace is the absence of grace. Law is simply an extension of God's amazing, amazing grace.
God who wants the best for us. I had a visual picture as you're talking of my mother's house rules that she put. Well, this was maybe the last attempt. She actually wrote them out and put them in a frame by each person's bed.
Oh, wow.
You know, make your bed,
Yeah.
brush your teeth. Now, this
Yeah.
wasn't to be a mean taskmaster.
No.
It's because she didn't want our teeth to fall out and because she didn't want us to have to mine our way into the bedroom.
Right.
And it was all about living fully, living
Right.
better.
She loved you so much, she set up parameters. Every parent who loves their children does the same thing, and God has done the very same thing for each one of us.
The grace of God, we're just beginning to peel back the layers, and you're going to want your own copy. Why don't you order one today? It's our thanks to you for your financial support of Crossroads. We're so grateful that we can do this. Take a look.
The dilemma of Christianity, the dilemma of all religion, is what do I do about me, and what do I do about my past, and what do I do about my failure, and what do I do about my sin? What if we really have fallen short? What if you're condemned before God? What if you don't measure up and you're going to be held accountable? Then do you want what's fair? Then do you want what's just? I want exactly and precisely what I deserve the least.
The Grace of God by author and pastor Andy Stanley is our thanks to you for your ministry support. To receive your copy, call 1-800-265-3100 with your best ministry gift. You can write to Crossroads in Canada or the United States, or make a secure online donation at crossroads.ca.